The Travel Transformation Podcast is proud to be partnered with Give the Goodness Global, an amazing global outreach project helping families in need all over Southeast Asia and beyond. Please check them out at Instagram.com/Give the Goodness Global today. And now on to the podcast episode.
Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, where we talk all things travel and all things transformation, exploring the life-changing potential of solo travel, intentional travel, and location-independent working. Whether you're an aspiring digital nomad or simply wish to boost your confidence through epic travel experiences, I'm here to motivate and inspire you to go after all your wildest dreams. I'm Jessica Grace Coleman, author, certified travel coach, founder of the Travel Transformation Company, and your host for the Travel Transformation Podcast. Travel changed my life. Now let's change yours. You ready? Let's go. Hi, and welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things travel and all things transformation. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, but you can call me Jess, and today is just going to be a quick solo episode called Fun Things to Do to Give You Travel Motivation and Destination Clarification. So I know some of you listening probably do not need any motivation to go traveling. If you're listening to this, you probably love traveling and have loads of places you want to go to. But for some people, maybe it's not that easy. Maybe you've got to save up first and you want to choose the right place for you. You don't want to waste your money going to somewhere that isn't right for you. And I don't think any traveling is ever a waste of money, by the way. Or maybe you've only got so much annual leave from work and you want to make the most of it. You don't want to go on a trip that doesn't meet your expectations or anything like that. Or maybe you really want to go traveling and you don't have anyone to go with, so you're considering solo traveling, but that seems a bit scary, and I totally get that. And again, maybe you're not sure where to go if you're going to be traveling solo, and there is a lot of things to consider when traveling solo, which I have talked about a lot on this podcast before, so feel free to go back and check out past episodes. You can go to traveltransformationcoach.com/podcast to find out more about certain individual episodes. But yeah, maybe some of us need a bit more help when it comes to figuring out where we want to go and giving us the motivation to actually book it. So I haven't written a load of notes for this. I just came up with a few bullet points. So I was thinking about this yesterday. And so I'm just going to run through them and talk about in relation to what I've been doing in the past. And it actually came up for me, this idea for this topic, because I was playing around with Bing Image Creator, which is an AI image creator. If you've not tried it, go and try it. It's incredible. Obviously, I am all about supporting actual artists and actual artwork. So I'm not going to be using this instead of hiring a graphic designer if I need to hire one or anything like that. But I think it is quite fun for messing around with. I think it's actually a great tool for giving yourself ideas of what you want to do travel-wise and giving you motivation. So if you create one that actually looks good, and I will talk about some of the ones that came out not so good for me, you could maybe print it out, put it on your wall, put it on your phone, background, whatever. It could be really good inspiration. And I'll put the link in the show notes to the Bing Image Creator if you've not used it. But basically it's free. And you go on and you type in a prompt, and the more specific you can be with your prompts, the better the images will come out, in theory. So you could say, I want a picture of, say, a couple on a beach in Thailand. It's sunset. There are palm trees everywhere. They're holding cocktails in their hands. And I want it in the style of a Monet painting or a Dali painting or watercolor painting, or I want it cartoony, or I want it manga, or whatever you can think of. Emulate that style and give you 4 images to choose from. And obviously you can keep repeating and trying different things and drilling down into the prompt, which is something you have to do with AI a lot anyway. If you've ever used ChatGPT, you know that you can't just ask it something and it will give you what you want. You have to really give it specific prompts and keep drilling down. But I did this. And I was actually doing it because I'll be talking about this on the next episode, but I'm working on something to do with my Movify Your Life method, to do with magical movie moments on the road, which I've talked about a lot on this podcast, and I'll be talking a lot more about it next week. But I just thought it'd be quite cool to get some images to do with this project that I'm working on, not to be all mysterious or anything, but this is what I'm going to be revealing next week. It'd be cool to have some images I could use in the project. things I've sort of generated. And I started off by doing a solo female traveler image in the style of DALL-E. I don't think I gave it much more information than that, and it actually came up with some really cool images. I've put them in my Instagram, actually, so you can check it out at Travel Transformation Coach, the DALL-E solo female traveler images. They're really cool. Great style. I love the DALL-E style. It has added in random clocks here and there because DALL-E, one of the famous DALL-E pieces is the melting clocks picture, which I really like. But yeah, it's really cool. It's got like a solo female in the middle. She's having a lovely time. There's like huge backgrounds with amazing travel related things like rock formations. And there's a road trip one with a like VW van and mountains and rivers. And it's just really, really cool. Very arty, very nice. And then after that, I thought, design my dream house while I'm here. Why not? So I've got loads of pictures of a purple clapboard house with a turret and a porch in the middle of the woods in New England style autumn foliage with pumpkins everywhere, because that is where I want to live. I want to live in an enchanted house in the woods that looks like a witch's house. And it actually came up with some great ones. So if I ever get the money to do this, I've got my blueprints right here, basically. But then after that, I got onto the magical movie moments that I wanted to see. So basically, I inputted all the ideas of magical movie moments I've ever had on the road, and like little snapshots of time that was so incredible or inspiring or emotional or just epic that they seem like a scene from a movie. So an obvious one was when I went to see the Northern Lights in Iceland, and that was like something out of a movie. So I did prompts and I asked for like a couple watching the Northern Lights, and sometimes it will add in random stuff. Like I've just opened this one now. I know this isn't great because it's visual and I'm talking to you through audio, but there's a great picture of a couple looking at the Northern Lights, and there's a random just like cowboy hat on the ground. No explanation. Did someone kill the cowboy? Did he become invisible? Was he on a snowman and the snowman melted, but there's snow everywhere? So many questions. So I did that. I also tried to do some road trip ones because a lot of my magical movie moments have just been in the car, like in the States or something, with like a long road ahead of me, the horizon, the sunset, singing along to the radio with my friends, just like a scene out of a movie. And I asked them, being image creator, to create that, and it did. We got the road, we've got the sunset, we've got the friends, we've got the laughing. One of them is holding an American flag in one of them. There's a lot of microphones being held, which I assume is to tell me they're singing. But a lot of the time, there isn't even a car. They're just wandering along the road, which isn't great for a road trip. At one point, they're all sitting on the car with a microphone, singing at something in the distance. Some of the faces look really creepy, I won't lie. AI still hasn't got some things quite right there. I recreated ones where I was on a boat in the Basque Country, and a couple of my friends or my co-living housemates were reenacting the Titanic scene where they stand at the end of the boat with their arms out. And it did that. Most of the time there's 3 people rather than 2. They don't have enough limbs between them. So it's interesting. Yeah, I've talked about a lot of magical movie moments and I tried to recreate them all. And then I thought, well, you could use this for motivation for going traveling. So like I say, you could say, I want to be on a beach in Thailand. I want to be in a hot tub in the Rocky Mountains. I did that one. It was me and my friends who did this, and like having champagne in the hot tub, and it's created them, and it's created 3 very glamorous looking women. And we did not look like that when we were in the hot tub, but it's good motivation. Maybe I should have given them more prompts about what we looked like, but never mind.
Sorry for the interruption, but I just have to tell you about Give the Goodness Global, an incredible global outreach project run by American veteran Cody Grannon. Cody is passionate about helping those in need all over the world, whether it's raising money for a specific family he's met while traveling in Southeast Asia, giving food and supplies to people who would otherwise go without, or simply donating his time to help wherever help is needed. Please check out Instagram.com/GiveTheGoodnessGlobal to find out more, to donate money to their current cause, or to buy Give the Goodness Global merch, all the profits of which go straight back to helping those in need. Plus, 10% of all profits from Jessica Grace Coleman's book, Intentional Travel Transformation, are donated to this brilliant cause. You can find out more about this at traveltransformationcoach.com/books. So remember, be kind and give the goodness always. Thank you. And now back to the Travel Transformation Podcast.
And yeah, it just got me thinking, like you could put yourself or, like a similar person to you, similar body type, similar skin color, similar hair, any other distinguishing features. You could put that in the prompt, I guess. And you could put in a place that you want to go to, an activity, and it will generate this image for you. And I thought that'd be quite cool as long as they had the right number of limbs and not scary faces and things like that. You could print them out, put them on your phone, like I say, and that could be a great motivator. So that's where this started. So I wrote that one down. And this is just going to be a quickie, so I'm just going to run through the rest. But some of the obvious things you could do to motivate yourself to go traveling and to get clarification on the destination you want to go to. Obviously, Google is your friend. Also, Uncle ChatGPT is your friend. You could ask him. Google where you want to go. Read travel books. I read so many books on travel. I read so many biographies that include travel, so many memoirs, all that kind of stuff. I really liked reading Wild and Eat, Pray, Love. You could read my book if you really want to, Intentional Travel Transformation. That will also give you some ideas on how to travel more intentionally. Along the same lines, you could watch travel shows or movies. That always gets me inspired to go. One of the recent ones I loved was the one with Eugene Levy on Apple TV. I think it was called The Reluctant Traveler or something like that. I really enjoyed that. Back in the day, I really loved An Idiot Abroad. Obviously, Eat, Pray, Love and Wild, again, they were made into movies. I did a whole episode on travel TV shows and ones you can watch to get yourself in the travel mood. If you want to go to that, you can go to traveltransformationcoach.com/31. So just 31. And that show, the podcast episode is called Travel Shows that will give you the travel book. So that's an idea. Another idea is you can obviously talk to your friends, anyone you know who's been traveling, past travel buddies. You can go on Facebook groups. So many travel-related Facebook groups. Hey, I've got one too. It's called the Travel Transformation Lounge. I'll put the link in the show notes if you really want to check it out. Just ask people, where have they been? Where would they recommend? And even if you know where you want to go, but you know someone who's been there, just ask them about it. Hear their stories. That'll get you motivated to go and get you to the point, hopefully, that you're ready to actually book that ticket. So another thing you can do is create a vision board, either in real life, like on your wall or on a pinboard or something, or you can do it on something like Canva, which is free, canva.com. You can create, there's lots of vision board templates on there. You can put images of where you want to go, quotes, all that good stuff. Do one for a certain destination, do one for a certain type of trip you want to go on. And yeah, stick that on your wall too. Why not? Another thing I like doing is called Stupid Idea Time. And it's a game you can play with your friends. Maybe you could play it with Uncle ChatGPT if you really want to. And it's basically nothing is off limits. Nothing is too stupid. I usually do it with goal setting and things like that. So if money wasn't an issue, time wasn't an issue, all the other excuses you give weren't issues, what would you do with your life? What job would you want to do? Where would you want to go? What is your ultimate dream destination? And if you can't get there yet, what is a similar trip you could do? Play it with your friends, Stupid Idea Time, go back and forth. You'll be surprised sometimes at what you even come out with. If I'm just sitting and thinking about something myself, I'll think of some things, sure, but it's not until I start talking to someone about it, just going back and forth, people asking questions, that you actually realize, like, maybe I don't want to go because of this reason. Or, oh, I didn't even know I wanted to do that, but it just came out my mouth. So that's a great way to do it. Visualizing is always good. If you know where you want to go, visualize yourself in that place. Do it in as much detail as possible. If you don't know where you want to go, visualize yourself getting on a plane, sitting there, being excited, looking out the window. Where would you want to go? When you get off that plane, do you want to be in a hot tropical place with palm trees and so hot that the heat just like hits you over the head like a hammer? The kind of heat I mean. Do you want to get out and it's snowing and you're in a winter wonderland? Do you want to get out in a jungle or a rainforest or a desert or a big city or a little tiny village in the Cotswolds? Just visualize it. Play the story through of you getting on the plane, getting really excited about where you're going and all the things you're going to be doing, and just see what pops to mind. You can also do the movie poster exercise, which I've talked about in relation to movifying your life. I've talked about it on the podcast before, and I talked about it in terms of your bigger life goals, really. Creating a movie poster for your life as it is now, giving it a title, an image, a slogan, a review, a theme, color, fonts, everything, and then doing another one for where you actually want to be in maybe a year's time or 5 years' time or 10 years' time, with a different title, a different theme, a different image, a different review, hopefully a better review. And you can do this for travel as well. So you could go on canva.com. I use Canva pretty much every day for business stuff and personal development stuff. I'm just faffing around. And you could go there, you could search for movie posters in the templates. They have loads. And then you can just start editing it. Put a picture of yourself in, find a nice destination picture of a beach or a city or a jungle or wherever you want to go. Create like your own tagline, your own review, 5 stars. And once you're doing that, print it out, put it on the wall, use it as motivation for saving up money or asking for time off or whatever you need to do to get to the point where you can make that trip happen. So I'm all about being as visual as possible, so I love Canva. Okay, so the next thing is look back at your own travel photos and videos from the past. So maybe there's somewhere you've always wanted to go back to, in which case, if you've got any photos on that, in an album or on Facebook or on Instagram, on your computer or wherever, on your phone, go back and just look through them. It will just make you want to go there again. And if you're on the fence for whatever reason, hopefully it will tip you on the other side and you can go and book that trip, or at least book something towards it. When I say this, it doesn't mean you have to book the whole thing right now. If you can't afford it, or if you're not sure where you want to go still, or you're not sure how long for, all that stuff, you could at least book a flight or a train or one hotel room or one night's accommodation or one tour or a concert ticket somewhere. So you've got the ticket now, so you may as well go and use it as impetus to go and book that trip. You can also read travel blogs. I've got some travel blogs and tips and things like that on my website at traveltransformationcoach.com. You can watch YouTube travel channels. There are so many out there. As I say, post on social media for travel recommendations, and if you are going on loan, but you want people to go with you, possibly, you could ask people if they want to come. Why not? And the last thing is listen to my past podcast episodes. It's called The Travel Transformation Show. I've done quite a few episodes on travel, believe it or not. So, and there's loads of stuff about personal development and choosing which trips to go on and all that good stuff. So give it a listen. Like I say, you can go to traveltransformationcoach.com/podcast. But if you do nothing else, I really encourage you to go to Bing Image Creator because it's really fun. It can be a bit of a time suck, just as a warning. It's really fun. It can be really funny when the pictures don't come out quite like you expected. And it can actually be really useful as a tool to get yourself thinking about where you want to go and to picture yourself there and to put it on your wall and see it every day until you go and book that trip. So that's it for today. As I say, next week, I'm going to be talking about a project I'm working on this year, which I'm really excited about, to do with movifying your life. So if you're at all interested in that, make sure you listen out for that. Please follow the podcast, subscribe, whatever the button says these days on whatever platform you're on. Subscribe or follow usually, so you'll never miss an episode. Please tell people about it if you're at all enjoying this. And if you can rate or review on the platform you're listening to this on, please do. I know people are listening to this and I would really appreciate a few more reviews, a few more ratings. So yeah, that is my shameless plug and shameless begging out of the way. Thank you for listening, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you for listening to the Travel Transformation Podcast with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. If you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, rate and review, and spread the word, because it's my mission to help as many people as possible to flip the script on their lives and transform through travel. And remember, life is short, so let's make sure it's nothing short of amazing. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.